Hi, if you followed my previous video on installation of Zotero, by now you know how to install Zotero, where to get it from, how to uh, install it on your computer. In this case, I talk about PCs, and at this time probably you have it installed somewhere on your computer. In this video, I'm going to talk about Zotero's integration with browsers and word processors. I'm going to use Mozilla Firefox as my browser. You might be using some other browsers such as Chrome or Brave or Vivaldi or Edge for that matter. And for the purpose of a word processor, I'm going to use a LibreOffice Writer as my word processor. But the process of integration of Zotero with browsers and word processors are going to be pretty similar, both in LibreOffice Writer or Microsoft Word. That's the one. I don't use that very often. But anyway, these are things that I'm going to talk about today. Let me explain what Zotero does and how Zotero integrates with the other two pieces of software, a browser and your word processor. The philosophy of the way Zotero works can be very simply explained in this simple demonstration here. As I explained in my previous video on Zotero, Zotero is a database. In this database, you have your sources that you would like to reference. So this database needs to gradually gather more and more entries as the points or topics of future referencing. So if we consider Zotero here, and you gradually put your data into it and different entries, so each entry that you enter inside, each entry has its own profile explanations. What are these entries in this database? These entries are the names or the titles of references or sources you are using, and these profiles are made out of different fields, such as a field for the title of the work, a field for the name of author or authors, editor, editors, translator or translators, and so on. Several fields for place of publication, the date of publication, and other fields that are related to your reference. It doesn't mean that every single entry that you put in will have all of these fields available to you. Sometimes you're quoting someone, maybe you're interviewing someone. You only know the name of the person and the title of the interview and the date and the place of the interview. You don't know much of any other thing about that event. Sometimes you are getting a weblog article that you're trying to reference, and the weblog may be posted a post. That blog post might not even have an author attached to it. So you have the title of the article, but you don't have any author for it. So there are possibilities for each of these fields to be filled with different data points, but it doesn't mean that all of your entries will have those data points. Anyway, so you gather this data together. But Zotero has the ability to work or be integrated with two other pieces of software. One is your browser, and another piece of software is your word processor, such as in this particular case, LibreOffice Writer, right? Okay. What does this mean? What does this integration mean? It technically means that Zotero is able to directly get some information, or sometimes all the information that it needs for an entry from a browser and put it inside, create a new article or create a new item or entry in your database and put it there. And also it is capable of communicating with your LibreOffice or your writer, and whenever you want to fetch some of these entries, it gives you a search box, and you type what you need in the search box and it automatically inserts the entry as an inline citation in your document that you're composing on LibreOffice Writer. So this process can be automated pretty much in many cases. So the automation is very tight, very well done. So this whole thing works pretty seamlessly, hopefully, for most installations. And the idea is that while you're browsing the internet and you come across interesting articles, instead of writing everything by hand in your Zotero's database, you just tell the Zotero to create a entry that is taken out of this article and put it here in your database. Zotero has this ability to do it for you, and also it has the ability to communicate with your word processor and put it in the word processor while you are composing an article. All of these things, the whole thing is that all of these things can be automated quite well. The only part that you have to put in manually after entering a new entry is to call it, which is going to be you insert a new entry here. You would use one of the add-ons that Zotero created for LibreOffice, and the add-on has a little icon, and when you click on the icon would bring up this pop-up menu to search. So you search, and while you're searching, it is actually really connected to the database, and it takes the entry that you're searching from the database, shows it to you, you approve it, and it automatically takes care of the rest and puts it inside of your document. That is the integration of Zotero with browser and your word processor. This works with both Mozilla Firefox and with Chrome, which or anything that is based on Chromium engine, including Brave. I guess Brave is this, isn't it? Yeah, Brave, Vivaldi. What else? Whole bunch of other browsers that are using Chrome or Chromium code. So all of them would have that connector that Zotero offers, and on the word processor side, there are two connectors or add-ons. One that is written for LibreOffice Writer, another one that is written for Microsoft Word. From the previous video, you learned that how you're going to install your Zotero. I have already installed that. This is from previous session. So this is my Zotero from previous installation. As you can see, there's nothing in it. It's empty. There's only a welcome message in the middle, and the rest of the whole thing is just empty. There's no entry in it. I'm going to put entries in it. There are many ways to put entries in this database. One is doing it by hand, which is pretty time consuming. I mean, unless you have to, and there is no other way around it. I usually use the automatic way of entering a new entry, but it is possible. You can create a new entry by clicking on this plus button, green plus button, and let's say it's a book. So a book is an entry, and it has these fields that I explained here, as you can see, and they are all empty because I'm doing it by hand. So what am I supposed to put in here? perhaps for a book, the most important parts are the title of the book and the name of the author. These are the two most important things. So the title of the book I would like to put here by hand is, and that book is written by Daniel Dennett. All right, so the name of the author is there now, and I'm happy with this. Also, because I have the book right now on my shelf sitting there, I have this opportunity to look it up and fill out the publisher's name, place of publication, and the date of publication. Usually these are the most important items you would like to put into your database for a book. Yeah, you can do that. And if you don't know these, another way to do it is to go on Amazon, for example, or World Catalog and fetch it from there. Here is where I can find more information about it if I don't have the physical book near me. So I open up my Firefox. I will go to World Catalog, World Cat. This has a big repository of books, CDs, DVDs, anything that is published. And as you can see, there are many different versions of it. The one that I use is this one. So I can see already that publishers, the name of the publisher is here, and the place of publication and the year of publication, all of them are here. My book is not an ebook, mine is a paper book, so it was published in 1995. So I would copy these important items here. Is the date. Usually for books, these items are good enough for most purposes. If my entry is not a book, but it is an article or an interview or a video, I might need to have some other fields filled up. Sometimes books could be could have different editions, so edition 1, edition 2, or first or second edition would come here, so you type it there. The rest, the number of pages or language usually are not used in most commonly used citation styles, but as a matter of principle, I usually fill them up just in case in the future I might need to refer to them. ISBN usually is not included in citations or bibliography that you put. Most of the citation styles, they don't use ISBN, any form of it, 13 digits or 10 digits, but usually I grab it and put it there. And for example, right now this ISBN belongs to this ebook version, so I'm not really interested in the ebook version. If I can find the paper version of this book, here is the problem. I don't remember what the publisher of my actual book was, because as you can see, there are several publishers. Some of them, although the cover of the book is the same with most of them, but the publishers are different and the publication dates are different. Therefore, there might be different international standard book numbers for each of them. I don't know. So just to know, I have to go back to the actual real book and have a look at the name of the publisher and the year of publication. Anyway, so this was a case of a book, and for other cases you probably would do something similar. All right, so far I have created this one entry. This is called an entry. This is called an entry, and this is the profile of that particular entry. There is a title for it, author, place of publication, publisher, and date. Usually good enough for most cases related to books. So I have one entry right now with this information inside of it, right? However, as I said, Zotero is capable of doing the whole thing automatically in many cases. Maybe not all, but in many cases. So how can I integrate Zotero to my Firefox? Let me minimize Zotero. and open my Firefox. Let me bookmark this guy here. I would like to go to Zotero's homepage one more time. This is Zotero's homepage, and you remember that I clicked on download in the previous video and downloaded Zotero and installed it on my computer last time in the previous video. And as you can see on this page, this page automatically detected the type of browser I'm using. In this case, it is a Firefox browser, and it offers the correct connector or add-on that is going to integrate Zotero with my browser. So if I want these two to work together, I would need to install this Firefox connector. I'm going to go ahead and click on the connector. It downloads the connector and attempts to install the connector. I have to continue the installation and allow it to happen. And next step would be it tells me the add-on manager of Firefox tells me that, hey, this add-on is going to do this or that, access data, and so on and so forth. Would you like to add it to your browser? I should say yes. If I cancel it, it would not add Zotero to it. If I say yes, the Zotero would be added to my browser. I also have an option to allow this add-on to work even in private windows. If you want to do that, click put a check mark here and click on OK. I'm going to click on OK without the check mark, but you can change it. It's not a big deal in most cases. So click on OK. As you can see, now I have a new item here, new icon added to my browser. My browser now is kind of connected to Zotero. Right now it doesn't have any color, it's grayed out, and if I click on it, nothing happens, but it is there. If I click on my add-on menu, if I go to my add-on, I can see I have two add-ons right now at this moment, two add-ons installed. One is the one that I installed, this connector right now, and another one is an ad blocker that I installed in the past. So this is correctly installed and it is active right now. All right. Okay, back to a new tab, an empty tab. The funny thing about Zotero is, unfortunately, that's a design flaw. I think a good design should not change the menu items or menu icons constantly. You have to have a uniformity and continuation of look and feel throughout different actions of that program. Unfortunately, Zotero did not adhere to that philosophy. So the icon for Zotero keeps changing depending on the context of the page. This context doesn't have anything. It looks like something else now. It doesn't look like a Z right now. But if I go to different places, such as this place that I visited, and I search again for the same thing, now it turned into a Z. As you can see here, now it changed its shape to a Z. This is a bad design. Unfortunately, that's what they decide. It's out of my hand, but sadly they decided that this has to change every time you go to a different place. Okay. Anyway, so this is there. It means that it is going to work. Hopefully it's going to work. So what it means is that these two are going to talk to each other, and this database is going to talk to my browser, and they are going to see each other. All right, so I browsed to this page, and again this icon has changed. As you can see, now it looks like a book. I thought that Zotero thinks that this is a cool feature. It changes its shape, but it confuses the user out of their mind, because the user says, oh, where did my Zotero plugin go? It didn't go anywhere. It just changes shape. Very bad design decision. Anyway, so the icon is here. Now that Zotero can see my browser and my browser can see the connector here, the connector can detect that there is a database which is working here. All right. if I let me navigate to a folder here. Let me create a new folder, a collection. I would call it demonstration or demo, and it is empty. And now I would like to bookmark this thing in it. So I'm going to click on this Zotero icon, which says save to Zotero, save to Zotero. Once I click on it, you will see that the item is saved in my database. Right now I have, the name is correctly detected, it's a book, the kind, the title is correctly detected, the name of the author is here, abstract, the place of publication, the publisher's name, the year of publication, and so on and so forth. Many of these items might not be very important or necessary for future use, but they are there anyway. The name, as you can see, the first name is abbreviated. I don't like that. I personally prefer to grab the name, the full name of the author. So I just happen to know what his name is. So I usually come here and change things by hand. Anyway, so this is the integration of Zotero itself with my browser. Once I got this into my browser, into my Zotero's database, now I have a new entry in my Zotero's database. This one was created automatically, not by hand. Now I can go ahead and use this entry to, you know, create papers and cite this article or this book. This particular case is a book. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete this item and move it to trash, because I have it already in my database many times. Here's the thing. Darwin. See, I have it here. Darwin's Dangerous Idea. I already have it. Okay, the name I would like to have Daniel Clement. Once you have grabbed the sources that you wanted to use, you will have a whole bunch of entries in your database. Now you're probably ready to go ahead and use it inside of your word processor. But you might ask that, all right, I have all of these things in my database, all of these entries in my database. Some of them are books, some of them are newspaper articles, some of them are interviews or videos or blog posts. How am I supposed to use it inside of my word processor? For that purpose, I already created, installed the word processor, LibreOffice Writer. Again, I used a portable version, and I installed it here in this folder. So everything is in one folder. I'm going to double click on that. And when I open this, this word processor, I still don't have the connection that I need between my word processor and Zotero. So they cannot see each other. I need to make that happen. How am I supposed to do that? There are different ways to do it. Usually Zotero automatically detects the installed version of LibreOffice or Microsoft Word, and it would automatically install the extensions or add-ons into those word processors. If it doesn't happen, if it didn't happen for your case, in my case it didn't happen in here because this is a portable version, I have to do it by hand. If I go, for example, to look at the extension manager, I have a whole bunch of things there, but I don't see any Zotero connector or Zotero add-on or extension here. What am I supposed to do? Well, the good thing is, let me minimize this one. The good thing is Zotero comes with those plugins already inside of this program. If you go to tools and you go to add-ons, you will see a menu here that already shows you that, hey, there are certain add-ons that are available. Would you like to use any of these add-ons and go ahead and integrate your thing with your word processor. So these are there already. It automatically does it for you. In case you don't have it installed automatically, and you want to do it by hand, you might want to go to the preferences menu, and as you can see, there are tabs all the way up here. In the preferences menu, if I'm not mistaken, if you click on site, and you see two sub tabs. One tab is called styles, another tab is called word processors. If you click on that one, you will see two icons here. These two two buttons. These two, each of them will allow you to install the extension into the corresponding word processor. The top one would install the extension in Microsoft Word. The bottom one will install it into LibreOffice. If I click on that one, it will try to install the thing in LibreOffice that is already installed on my computer. I have already installed it, so it will say, okay, here is the thing, I found it, would you like me to install it there? If I go forward, it will try to install it in that location. If not, if it tried to find it and it failed to find, in my case, for the portable version, it will not find the portable version. It allows you to do the manual installation. Here is the button for that. So you click on the installation by hand, manual installation, and this is the extension you need in order to install it by hand. So you're almost done. Close this thing, cancel, close this one, cancel, and minimize Zotero. Here is my Zotero extension that is supposed to connect my Zotero database with my word processor, and this is my LibreOffice. I closed the document, the empty document that I opened a few seconds ago. I closed it, and now I only see the welcome screen. What I need to do is drag and drop this extension into Zotero. There are times when the installation will not go forward. You will receive an error message that I can't see the Java Runtime Environment. The reason could be because when you when you newly install LibreOffice inside of as a portable word processor inside of a folder, and it is not installed in a normal fashion, LibreOffice will not be able to see all the parameters of your computer, where Java Runtime Environment is, where other things are. So it doesn't have a way to detect those things if you install a portable version. I have installed the portable version. So if I try to do so, if I try to install this Zotero integration extension, it will throw me an error message. Also remember that LibreOffice portable version is a 32-bit compilation. It's not a 64-bit. You can go on LibreOffice and install and download and install a 64-bit package, in which case you need a Java Runtime 64, but the portable version, as far as I know, at the moment, at the time of making this video, is only 32-bit. So you require a regular Java 32-bit runtime. In order to install that, I already showed you in the previous video how to install the Java runtime for a 64-bit, because my operating system is a 64-bit. But let's say I'm using this portable version that is a 32-bit, and I need to tell it where to find Java 32. It just happened that I showed it already. It knows. But let's say if you don't have this already there, you have to add it. You have to show the portable version where you installed your runtime, your Java runtime. Usually it is installed into your program files under common common files. So if you navigate to programs under program files and you go to common files, usually you will see it. But I don't have a 32-bit Java runtime. I do have it in a different setup. So my setup is kind of a little bit different. So my Java 32 is installed somewhere kind of obscure in my in a port folder. Under the port folder, I have this portable apps and then common files, and I have two versions of Java. These are my installations just for the purpose of showing my portable portable software, portable apps to use either Java 32 or Java 64. Yours would not be here. Your installation of Java 32 will be in a different folder. Just navigate to that folder and show the word processor where your Java is. My Java for a LibreOffice that is a 32-bit, which is this one, is going to use a regular Java here, and I show where it is, and it sees it. Okay, there it is. If I show the 62-bit, I doubt if it recognizes the 62-bit. I'm going to try, and I'm going to go here. It probably would say this folder does not contain the Java runtime that this version can understand. This version is a 32. Why? It's because the portable versions of LibreOffice always come in 32-bit. They don't package the 64-bit yet, or maybe they do, but I don't have it right now. So if I showed the 64-bit, I would get this message. If I show the 32-bit Java installation, I would see a new item added. So my 32-bit is here, and I have it. I don't get an error message. So now my installation of this portable version of LibreOffice, now it knows where the Java Runtime Environment is. So I can go ahead and install the extension for Zotero. Drag and drop, and I would get this pop-up message inside of the extension manager that automatically opened. Now the pop-up message is asking me, would you like to install this extension? If I go ahead and click on OK, after a few seconds, I will have this item added in the extension manager. You will see that it is installed. Click on close, and it says you have to restart it. I say restart later, and then I close it. Now my LibreOffice Writer has this connection or piece of software that connects Zotero to my LibreOffice. If I open it next time, I will be able to see a new thing added to my LibreOffice. Okay, let me make a little bit of extra room here. As you can see, this bar, this toolbar is added. Right now it's locked, so I cannot move it around. I can right click and unlock it, so this handlebar would appear. I grab this and perhaps I usually drop it on the side. Then I right click and say lock, so I don't accidentally move it anymore. So now this connection is created. I have my Zotero installed. I have the Zotero connector between Zotero and my Firefox browser, and I have this toolbar which makes my word processor aware of the existence of Zotero. All three of them are in place. Let me minimize the word processor LibreOffice and maximize Zotero. So in Zotero, you can see I have few items in here. My Zotero database is already populated by quite a few items. Let us assume I'm writing an article and I would like to quote something from Darwin's Dangerous Idea book. Perhaps I'm typing something there, and I remember that I read something in this book. I would like to cite it. So what am I supposed to do? At all times, you are supposed to keep this database open. If it is not open, you will not be able to communicate with it through your browser or through your word processor. So keep this open. As long as it is open, when you are trying to enter something new in your word processor, the word processor can communicate with the database and they can see each other. If you happen to not have your Zotero open, let me close it, and now you want to insert something in your document, it will show you an error message. It will say, I cannot find the database. See, it says LibreOffice could not communicate with Zotero. Please ensure Zotero is open and set to an online state and try again. I click on OK. I open my Zotero. It doesn't have to be maximized. It can be minimized down here, right? But it is still open. It's still open. And my word processor now can see it. If I click on add a new item, a new entry, let's say click on add a new entry. Now there's a pop-up. Here is the tricky part. The pop-up that appears under the current window. I probably would not be able to see it, or I would not even notice that it is there. See this pop-up for the first time. This happens usually the first time that you want to enter an entry into your word processor. So we minimize Zotero. This pop-up appeared underneath my current window. Anyway, now that I access the pop-up menu for the first time in my current document, I would tell it what style I'm using. I just leave it as it is. This is good. APA is a good style. I leave it as it is, and I click on OK. Now everything is set. Now I'm able to enter the name of what I want to cite. As I type, the entries that are present in my database would pop up, and this is the entry I would like to use. Press enter, and I have my citation there. In the next video, I would tell you how Zotero and LibreOffice Writer work together to create the best experience for your research. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you have seen so far, give the video a thumb up. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button so you will be informed the next time I upload a new video. Till then,